Do my trick shot right over here. Balancing act. Hold on. All right. I think it's holding on. Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So how is everybody?
Good.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the state of Louisiana. So,
Where are we traveling?
Louisiana.
Wow.
A certain state where a certain movie called The Princess and the Frog takes place.
Yeah.
So by a show of hands, who here has been to Louisiana?
I have.
Just one? Oh, two.
Louisiana chicken place.
Go to those Popeyes. I guess we're off to a good start. Popeyes, all that good stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about Louisiana. We're going to be talking about some things you probably didn't know, and you're going to be surprised at what I found. Oh, this is going to be a fun one when we get to the famous people's part. So let's talk about the flag. So as you can see here, this is a blue field with pelicans right here. Yeah, that's what they are, by the way. They're pelicans, and this is a pelican tending to her young, and then you got this little ribbon down here that says Union, Justice, and Confidence. And not to get a little spooky or anything icky, that's actually blood drops. Sorry, my script fell.
Blood drops?
Yeah, those are blood drops. Basically, what this symbolizes that a mother is willing to do just
blood for her baby.
Yep, doing just about anything for her kids. Just like human mothers, just like bird mothers. So that's what it symbolizes, and that's pretty much the design of Louisiana. There had been other flag designs that were pretty interesting, but they pretty much stayed the same thing as this flag. So kind of a common pattern with birds, right? Anyway, so let's talk about where it's located in the next slide. So in case you guys are wondering, here's the American South, where we've been throughout the entirety of this month and last month. So here's Louisiana. You guys remember Mississippi?
Yep.
That it has Mississippi to the east, Arkansas to the north, Texas to the west, and to the south is the Gulf of Mexico.
Have we been to Arkansas yet?
Not yet. By the way, that's where we're going next.
All right.
See, come on, look at it up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you can tell, Louisiana is deep in the American South, although not exactly Alabama, but I'm pretty sure you get the idea. So, in case any of you are wondering what kind of geography we're talking about wetlands, we're talking about certain hillsides, valleys, and as far as climate is concerned, that's the funny thing about Louisiana's little climate. Look how it's located down here. So what you'll notice is that the further south you go in certain areas, you'll see that it will get really, really warm. It is known for being humid, warm during the summer and spring seasons, but during the autumn and winter seasons, it gets pretty rainy. And yes, it pretty much is susceptible to hurricanes. Yeah, not to frighten anybody. It's just a natural occurrence that happens. We have seen hurricanes come and go. So don't be discouraged about visiting Louisiana. It's about timing is the issue here. Yes. Oh, yeah? Interesting. So let's talk about some brief history in the next slide, shall we? So, you guys remember when we talked about the Louisiana Purchase? When we were talking about Kansas? Well, Kansas is right here. Here's Louisiana down here. Now, before there was the state of Louisiana, and before there were a lot of states actually, this was the Louisiana Purchase, a large swath of territory that France had claimed as their own. So it goes from Louisiana, goes to the American Midwest, and it goes all the way up to Montana. We talked about that a while back. You guys remember that? I do, especially with the buffalo and bison.
Yeah.
So yeah, once upon a time in the 1800s, there was this large swath of land that was unexplored for the most part. And what was going on in here was they were creating a lumber industry. They were opening up a mining industry. Yeah, they were making a lot of money here, but France was going through a little something called the French Revolution, so they couldn't hold on to their territories for very long. So they gave it to us, the United States. They gave it to us, if I'm understanding this correctly, somewhere between $40 to $50 million, $1 billion in today's money, all for this territory. So yeah, and before there were even people from Europe coming over here, you had obviously the Louisiana people down here too. And then afterwards, I don't know if you guys heard of these people, Cajuns. Yeah, Cajuns are just basically the descendants of the original French colonists who lived here. And most of these people were exiles. So because they disagreed with some people, they were sent over here. And that's essentially where Cajuns come from. They're mostly just, well, homesteaders and farmers and ranchers for the most part. So, yeah. And as far as the name of Louisiana is concerned, it comes from the name La Louisiane, which was named after King Louis XIV of France. He was one of the few last monarchs before, well, we start to see modern France as we see it. France is no longer a monarchy, it's now a republic. Kind of like we are. We are a republic. We don't have monarchies. We have a president. Although over there they have a prime minister. So that's a whole other story. So let's talk about what Louisiana is known for. So this is New Orleans.
No.
So New Orleans is the largest city, but the capital city is Baton Rouge. But when people go to Louisiana, they are mostly familiar with New Orleans, right over here. You were born there? Yep. So we have one native. So New Orleans, the best way I could describe it, it's kind of like our version of Los Angeles, sort of, without the Hollywood stars. So it's got commerce, it's got entertainment, it's where you'll find jazz music, blues, the usual stuff. So yeah, that's what Louisiana is known for. Let's move on to the next slide, shall we? This is also another section of Louisiana. So when you go to Louisiana, or should I say New Orleans, you'll see that there's this famous street, and people come here and they see this famous street right over here. The best way I can describe it, kind of like, I don't know, Hollywood Boulevard, I guess you could say. I'm pretty sure that's the best way I can describe it. So you're going to see a lot of these buildings, a lot of these French colonial buildings, and they are still standing after well over 100 years. Almost 200, if you're doing the math correctly. So let's move on to the next slide, shall we?
Oh.
What other one?
Is this Bourbon Street?
Yeah, that's Bourbon Street.
Nice.
This is just one section.
Nice.
Yep. It'll light up in the night. And here's Caesar's
yeah.
Superdome.
Nice.
Whoa.
New Orleans Saints.
Yep. I was just about to get to that in the sports section.
Yes.
So the New Orleans Saints, they play here at the Caesar's Superdome. This thing has gone through a lot of names and has gone through a lot of construction. So a lot of renovations. All for this one sports team. I wasn't able to find a picture where it was showing the full, what do you call that? The full banner right here.
Banner of it? Did you get to see what the banner said?
No, I was not able to find that.
Nice.
This was the best I could find. But you can barely make out the Saints logo right down here.
Right.
Yeah. I believe it's called a Fleur, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, let's move on to the next slide, shall we? So this is what it looks like in the inside. So we've talked about sports stadiums before. Georgia, Georgia, amongst other states. Yeah, they're pretty big. And these are some of the biggest stadiums right here. So if you ever sit right up here, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of this big space. Jumbotrons, the field down here. So, yeah. So here's a question for you guys. Have you ever been to a sports stadium like this before? No? So, a long time ago. So, is anyone a fan of the Saints? No? I guess not. I guess we're too far in the West to be fans of the Saints.
Go Rams.
Okay, I heard someone say go Rams. Who was it?
Carmen.
Carmen? We're going to need to talk about that.
Only the mask knows.
We're going to have to talk about that.
Go Rams. Go Broncos.
Okay, calm down. Laura's not here. Let's move on to the next slide, shall we?
Go Rams.
Speaking of Saints,
Yeah, man. Shootable.
yeah. So the Saints from New Orleans. As the name suggests, they're from New Orleans. So I'll give you a little statistics here, some numbers. They have won 12 championships, 1 league championship, 1 Super Bowl, 1 conference championship, and 9 division championships.
Go Rams.
I said Saints, not Rams.
Not.
Pretty sure we're in the wrong region of the country. Let's talk about what else they're known for. What? What do you say? We're not repeating that, all right. Okay, Matt, when I'm done talking to Carmen, you're next.
I don't think you want to show that right now.
So those of you who are watching at home, we're all picking the wrong sports teams for all the wrong sports in the wrong part of the country. All right, let's talk about. You guys are too much. You guys are way too much. So, anyone heard of the New Orleans Pelicans?
Is that the hockey team?
Nope. Basketball.
What is it?
Basketball.
Basketball. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Now.
Pelicans.
Yep. So I was not able to find too much about these guys. So far, they've only won 1 division title. So Pelicans, best of luck next time. Wherever you're going to be playing, whomever you're going to be playing against. All right. So let's talk about more stuff, shall we? Who's hungry? Yep, it's jambalaya. So pretty much wherever you go, you're going to find people who will think of jambalaya when they think of New Orleans or Louisiana. So to those of you who don't know, jambalaya is pretty much a Spanish type of food mixed with French influence. And jambalaya actually at one point, it was actually a very bad attempt to make paella.
And what's paella?
Paella is kind of like this, except there's far more seafood in it. Shrimp, fish, clams, shellfish, or chicken. Yeah.
Now, jambalaya does come as a seafood jambalaya too.
Yeah.
A sausage one, and they have a seafood one.
Yep. So, pretty much what you see here. Oh, and they come with your choice of hot sauces, like Tabasco. By show of hands, who likes Tabasco? Yeah. Yep. So who's hungry for more? This is crawfish or crayfish, depending on how you pronounce that. Yeah. So in case you guys are wondering, they're just tiny little lobsters. That's literally all they are.
Wow, really?
That's literally all they are. They're just tiny little lobsters. They won't pinch you hard. And so, yeah, every time you go to some barbecue place or seafood restaurant, there's a very likely chance you'll find crawfish. So by a show of hands, who's tried crawfish? Me too. I mean, they're pretty good. I just prefer a lot of spices on it.
Yeah.
Preferably. Kind of like with jambalaya, I prefer a lot of spices on it. I mean, I could eat jambalaya or crawfish or, regular cooked But just throw in a little more seasoning, please. That would be good. Add more seasoning. So, who's hungry for more?
Yes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is crawfish Monica.
What?
It is what it looks
Mac
like.
and cheese.
Nope, it's got crawfish in it.
No.
Yeah, it is pretty much what it looks like. So, like I said, because Louisiana is located on the coast, you're going to see a lot of seafood. But they just happen to like the crawfish. And you know what? I don't blame them. That looks pretty good. Would you guys try this?
I would if I wasn't allergic.
Oh, you're allergic? Oh, that's bad.
Try it.
Don't worry about it.
You can try it and tell me what it tastes like.
Oh, how do I describe it? We're not done with food.
Oh.
The one and only gumbo.
Good.
Yeah.
What
So-
is that?
That's gumbo.
Whoa.
Louisiana style gumbo. So, to those of you who've tried gumbo, it's like a soup, and they threw in some seafood and sausages, but they also add a lot of spices to it.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
It's making me hungry.
Yep.
Does that have like sausage?
Mhm.
Maybe?
Yeah. But what you'll find out is that there's what is called a Creole Holy Trinity thrown in there.
Making me hungry, Jamie.
So the Holy Trinity, they call it, is it consists of celery, bell peppers, and onions.
It's making me hungry.
That's the whole point. That is the whole point. So, to those of you who haven't tried gumbo, I highly recommend it. Yeah. Granted, you guys can handle spicy foods.
Yes.
I don't like spicy.
Yes.
Well, that's totally fine. No judgment here. I'm just saying. Because I will warn you ahead of time. People will add a lot of spices to this. Because there are those people who say it's not spicy enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's when you shoot the Tabasco in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Pretty much. You throw in a little Tabasco, and if that's not enough, add more. But don't add too much. That's bad for your health. So, we're almost done with food, people. Let's talk about more. Doberge cake.
Killing us, Jeremy.
Jamie, what's going on with you?
my
Oh, I don't know. Remember that one rule about traveling? Learn the people, you gotta learn the food.
It's coming. It's
Little Doberge cake. So here's an interesting story. Have you guys heard of layer cake before?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is their version of layer cake.
That's a cute little rainbow cake too.
They come in different flavors: vanilla, chocolate, and whatever the rainbow is. If I had to describe what rainbow tastes like, this would be it. Rainbow, vanilla, chocolate. I'm pretty sure it comes in strawberries too.
Nice.
I like strawberries.
If you like strawberries, you're going to like this. Doberge cake. So let's talk about some famous people.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, remember when I said this would be interesting? Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres. So, talk show host, comedian, actress, best known for the show The Ellen Show. Yep, The Ellen DeGeneres Show.
See you going? Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's one famous person. So, to those of you who also don't know, she's also famous for another role. Let me show you. Finding Nemo. She played the character Dory.
I got the DVD.
Yeah? So do I. It's well animated after all this time. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys haven't seen Finding Nemo, you'll know Ellen DeGeneres' role as this little blue fish. I know it's hard to see because the poster's huge, but I promise you, she plays Dory, this little blue fish who has short-term memory loss. And she has a lot of fun. Yeah.
Does he eat people?
No.
No.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief. So let's talk a little more about famous people. Oh yeah.
Story.
Oh yeah, by the way, she also came out in the sequel Finding Dory.
Right.
She reprised her role many years later.
Wow.
Recognize this guy? That is Buddy Guy, a very well-known blues musician. He has influenced a lot of people. He's inspired and influenced modern musicians like Eric Clapton.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And his name again was?
Buddy Guy.
Oh, wow.
He is one of my favorite blues musicians.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
One of my favorites.
I'll look
Yeah. If I could play guitar like that, my life would be set.
that up. Boy, Jeremy, if you could play guitar like that, you'd be on live stream playing.
No, you got to give me a big check for that. Hollywood can pay better than that.
Come on, Jerry, you would play for us.
Ah, no. I think
I said it.
Contribution.
Contract.
Tell him do it.
You recognize this guy?
I do that.
And anyway, so does anybody recognize this gentleman right here?
Matt Matthias, who is that? See?
I know.
Who is he?
Okay.
Okay. This guy's Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm pretty sure we all know him for that one famous song that is supposed to uplift our spirits. What is it? Hmm? Close enough. You know what song he's famous for?
I see.
The skies and blue.
Skies are blue.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yup. Yes, Debbie.
Famous for the trumpet.
Yup. Very famous for the trumpet. Yep. One of the greatest musicians of all time. His songs are played all the time.
See, I know a song.
Yeah. And his song, What a Wonderful World, is played in TV shows, movies. It's played everywhere. So, yeah, if you ever listen to the radio next time, you guys, keep an ear out for that song. Contrary to popular belief, I actually like this song.
I do too.
What a wonderful world.
World.
Yep.
I see rainbows.
You know, if you want me to play the guitar, you got to sing too.
Oh, then we're not getting a contract.
Hey, then
Singing, we're not getting a contract.
we got to get a contract.
Not with me singing.
Cool. I'm glad we have an understanding. Not really. Let's talk about the people. So here's a physical map of Louisiana. So, like I mentioned, Baton Rouge is the capital, located right here along the river. Here's New Orleans, the largest city. So what you're going to notice is that there's a huge river that you might be familiar with, a little river called the Mississippi River.
Yes.
Yeah.
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked
Crooked
letter,
letter.
hunchback, I.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure. If you say so. Anyway, odd alphabetical spellings aside.
It's an E, you know, like that.
So you got the Mississippi River that borders Mississippi and Louisiana.
You see?
And
Tell
most
me
people,
that didn't work.
Sort of. That's debatable. Okay. Yeah. So most people living in New Orleans, and as of this year, and yes, there was a consensus taken this year, there are over 40 million people living in Louisiana.
Wow, really?
Oh, sorry, 4 million.
I was going to say, good gracious.
4 million people. I missed that wrong. I misread that. So, with most of them living in New Orleans, but the most common ancestries are African American, French, German, Irish, English, and Italian. I fit nowhere in any of that category.
Of course you do.
Really?
You're Italian? Irish?
I am not African American, French, German, Irish, English, or Italian.
No Irish?
I am in no way, shape, or form any of those things. Mm-mm.
I've met.
You've been.
I'm not Italian.
You're Italian.
Part, because I like pasta.
Vanessa's Italian by heart.
Okay,
She
sure.
loves pasta.
Okay, sure. I'm Italian too because I like pizza.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm not too sure how we're going to fit that system into the whole thing,
Because
but
we're all in one big, beautiful garden.
okay, cool.
Yes, yes.
Nicely said. So let's conclude today's class, ladies and gentlemen. So you got the little pelican right here, Louisiana, and this is called the Sportsman's Paradise. A lot of sports played here, just like the Saints.
Go Rams.
I knew you were going to say that, but I said it anyway. Oh, and here's Carmen's favorite part. It's expired.
Call the DMV.
Call the DMV. So let's conclude today's class. So Louisiana is a lot of things. It's also a hotbed of famous places and people. So if you guys ever want to go to Louisiana, please check out the cities, check out the locations. You never know if you're going to rub shoulders with a famous person. Hey, California may have its famous people too, but so does Louisiana.
Oh.
I mean, after all, where do you think most of those blues musicians come from? Blues and jazz. Where do you think they come from? Huh? You think they came from here in California? So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me for today's class. I will see you on the road. See ya.
Look. Look, you've been on.